Pace car is off. Texas Motor Speedway, the worst track potentially on the NASCAR calendar, set to kick off a new round of the playoffs. The round of 12 is officially underway. 101 laps around this Texas Motor Speedway here. Stages: end of stage 1, lap 25, end of stage 2, 50, end of the race 101, with a field run about 29 to 30 laps, so green flag pit stops necessary only in stage number 3. We have Jay up here in the booth. Jay, we had an interesting first round of the playoffs, but not necessarily the chaos we expected. The 4 drivers we thought would be out ended up being the 4 that were eliminated here. So this could be the round, though. We got some wild card races where we can see a big threat eliminated as well. We got Talladega and the Charlotte Roval on the way.
There were a lot of playoff drivers, however, Gary, that did have issues in that first round, and a lot of them are going to try and have that corrected here in the second round, starting off here at Texas. And right away already, Kyle Busch able to break away single file for the lead. Kyle Larson hung on pretty strong on the outside. Now he's going to get a second place all to himself. Gary gets single file. Chastain still fighting on the high side. I believe that is a 17. And Busch are still fighting high on the outside as well. So 7. So 6 drivers within 1 point of each other, and that is all for the final 2 positions right now. So really, really interesting stuff coming in here to Texas, and really 3 wild races. We got Texas, we got Talladega, and then we have the Roval. Texas to really get your best points, and then after that, it's really a crapshoot, and it's really just about survivability. And if you're Ross Chastain, you want to have the best race possible here in Texas. 3 wide move right there, able to survive it, able to get at least 1 position out of it, still fighting on Kyle Larson. We saw Larson, Gary, started strong, was able to grab the lead from Kyle Busch ever since then, but up on the high side and slipping back pretty quickly in the last couple of laps.
The outside doesn't seem to be where you want to be. It seems like they can hold their own in 1 and 2, and maybe even get a nice run down the back straightaway, but 3 and 4 seems to be the killer on the outside. Of course, when it comes to real life Texas, always like a single groove track now with this awful configuration.
Just don't get put to the outside. It doesn't matter how good your car is. You are going to be. Oh, there's a caution on the track. There's a yellow. We have had our first incident of the afternoon. Might involve the 77 of Ty Dillon. Not too sure where it was, but obviously you see the skid marks there as a crash into turn number 1.
Watch this. Yaley blows up here in the front straightaway. His teammate runs into the back of him, and we see a violent rollover here, a barrel roll down the front straightaway. More contact there. It sends him up and over, and that brings out the caution here in Texas. Jay, I don't know if this is cause for concern, but that 11 car looks off the pace down into turn 1. Something's clearly going on with Denny Hamlin as we get this restart underway.
Or maybe he's taking it easy, trying to save those tires for the final 6 laps. Either way, Hamlin, something going wrong there. Harvick is under threat from Joey Logano for the lead. 3 wide for 3rd place between Chastain, Kyle Busch, and someone else on the inside. That's the 20 of Bell. Bell making his way forward. The 20 car continuing to be strong, and Chastain shoves out Kyle Busch, who is still under threat from 3 wide. Now from Byron and a couple other drivers, he finally slots into 2nd place. Logano now 3 wide for the lead. Gary, look at Bell. Here he comes. The 20 car has been extremely strong. He's going for the lead again.
2 wins in the playoffs for Bell in the first round. He's not even in the playoffs, and here he is going for the lead. Denny Hamlin maybe making the right call if things get a little bit wild here. Harvick forced 3 wide on the outside, coming to the final 5 laps. Harvick. My goodness, they are going at it, aren't they, as they cross the track there?
Still going at it.
Oh, yes, they are.
A bit of contact between him and Byron. Sorry, Gary, go ahead.
The Byron, I was just going to mention him as well, right? They're 3 wide in the middle, but Jay, now look at that. Elliott now going for the lead in as well. Denny Hamlin way off the pace in that 11 car.
Way off the pace. Something may be going wrong with the 11. Have to think he would not be doing that on purpose either way, though, Gary. Chase Elliott up now against Christopher Bell for the lead. Gonna have it easy because the outside sucks. Logano gets back down for 2nd. Off of turn number 4, Chase Elliott gonna win stage number 1 here in Texas. Start off the 2nd round in the best way possible. Logano gets 2nd, Bowman 3rd.
And to get the final point in the stage, the number 5 of Kyle Larson.
Does he have an issue?
Oh my goodness, I don't know if that's an issue. I mean, it looked, you saw him dive down to the inside. Denny Hamlin just now crossing the line. Keselowski, either no tires or 2 tires, we're not fully sure, but nonetheless, he's going to be leading for this restart. Jay, this could be a bit of maybe a dramatic restart. We saw everybody on the same tires on the last one. It got a little frisky. Now they got a car in front where we know has less fresh tires than everybody else.
Yeah, Keselowski was able to, I guess, decided they just want to go with 2 tires or no tires and see how it fares for him out front. They only ran 6 laps before the end of that stage there, so maybe they're on to something here, Gary. The 6 car has looked incredibly fast, but he gets put to the outside immediately by Alex Bowman, and that's not a good sign at all for Keselowski. We know the outside line, especially in 3 and 4 struggles. A look in on Denny Hamlin off the pace once again. Bowman, going for the lead, and then Chastain immediately goes to his inside, takes the lead away. Kozlowski, you can see they're really struggling, Gary, holding up the outside line massively.
Larson to the inside of the 24 of William Byron, going to put him up into second place. Chastain trying to drive away in that number 1 car. We've talked about him, throughout this season. A bit of a slow start to the season, then he got on a bit of a hot run there and was able to win, 4 races, and including, I think, the All-Star race as well. Larson, Byron, 2 teammates up to second and third. They could work together here to run down this one. It's pretty evident that gap seems to be closing a little bit here in these closing laps.
Having to defend second place, Chastain should win this easily. Bell goes up to the high side for some reason, although he may make it work. A good run off of turn 4. Never mind. A good run did not exist. Chastain wins stage number 2, Larson second, and Christopher Bell third.
Eric Jones, last stage point there. A lot of playoff drivers up in the top 10, except you got that 20, you got the 45 as well as the 48, spoiling the party there. Pace cars off. We're ready to roll for the third and final stage. It's a bit of a lengthy one, just shy of 50 laps. A green flag pit stop, possibly likely here today, as we have seen a pretty calm race now. A slow start for the 2 of Cindric in the background as they go down towards turn number 1. Jay, it's been a common sight to see that 20 of Christopher Bell up here in the mix as of late here. And imagine if he made this round of 12, he would have been kicking things off just as strong as that round of 16. As now Byron may be looking to make it 3 wide.
Oh, almost contact between Larson and Bell as Larson tries not to get hit by his teammate of Byron. And now there is contact between the 20 and the 5 a little bit there. They get away with it, but for a moment they were into each other's side, and you can see the 3 wide circle.
Crash in the back.
20 and the 5, there's a crash in the background. It's the 10, the 77.
42 on the inside, on the exit of 4. He's going to door check the 77 into the 10, and they go crashing all together right there to the outside wall. Watch Denny Hamlin coming through the frame. Oh my goodness, it doesn't get much closer than that. We're going back racing. From Texas, Chastain, Byron, your front row. Cindric has climbed himself up into the conversation. Chase Elliott's back into the conversation as well. And that number 9 as they head down towards turn 1. Don't rule out that 8 of Kyle Busch, who was dominating early in stage 1 until that first yellow. We saw him go backwards. Now as they head down this back straightaway, Jay, they are dead even for the lead.
Yeah, this is the best we've seen the outside get on the restart, and Cindric for he looked 3 wide. Chastain thought he was going to go 3 wide, so he shoved Byron up the track. And somehow, out of that, Gary gets a massive launch off the corner to the lead all by himself, side by side now between Cindric and Byron for second place.
And that calmed things down a lot. If they would have went 3 wide, I think we'd have had a way different scenario. Elliott up the inside now of the 2 of Cindric. As Jay said it, this is Chastain's race to lose, and, well, he might be losing it. As they exit turn 4 down this front straightaway, that 1 car trying to hang on tough, but Jay... Here comes Kevin Harvick. He's not really been in the conversation. He's been top 10 all day long, but not certainly in the mix for the lead. And here he is now as Chastain cleared by the 9.
To the inside and goes for the lead, side by side.
Here goes Harvick now for the position. He is clear. Truex now into the best position he's been all race long, entering towards the top 5. Kyle Busch passing Larson in the background. Elliott's lost the lead, gone down to second, gone down to third, now fourth and fifth.
I think so.
On that left rear, just about if Harvick is head down into 1, and Jay, sure enough, here he goes for the move.
A big run for Bell off of turn 4, down the front straightaway through the tri-oval into turn number 1, and Harvick gets put to the outside and loses the lead. Might even lose second place to Ross Chastain. Not able, able to hold on to second place and not able to hold on to the lead though, Gary. Bell.
Harvick again for the lead here in Texas. It's not game over for this number 14. We know green flag pit stops though. They are coming here in a few moments time.
Dip down to the pit lane. He's the first one of our leaders to pit. Here comes Bell this time by, so 1 lap later, Bell goes to the pit lane. Our front 2 runners, Chastain and Harvick, they stay out. Most of the top 10 stay out. Some more drivers coming in a little bit further back. Helping when Almirola is out here holding up the leaders like this. Chastain.
Oh no!
Harvick almost wrecking going to the pit lane. He's not on.
That can't be legal.
Oh, he was way over the cone. He was speeding. Harvick, they have just ruined his own race.
That ruined his own race, maybe even his whole season. We'll have to wait and see there if the 4 car is going to have to stay stationary. The 4 is waiting. And yeah, sure enough, he is. So clearly a penalty there.
Big penalty.
Man, that's going to be big. Where's Kyle Busch? There he is in the background right now. Coming through 1 and 2. I am so bad at trying to get on him. I think he's going to be leading this race, Jay.
Yeah, for
big
sure.
Time.
Kyle Busch, big time ahead of Chastain. Bell gets up in the second place. That was a good move for Christopher Bell to get to the pit lane. Look at this, Christopher Buescher, or Chris Buescher as well, going to be able to get around Byron, gain a few positions, Blaney. And is that the 7 again of Corey LaJoie with another top 10 run? We've been seeing LaJoie the last couple of weeks, Gary. Really been having good runs, uses the pit stop advantage on his side this time. gets really good track position out of it. And here's a guy who does not have good track position, Kyle Larson. He was showing so much speed earlier. Gary Larson now in a bad spot. And talk about bad spots, Harvick goes a lap down with his penalty.
But aside from that, Jay, battle for the lead. Bell to the inside, but Kyle Busch, look at the power down the back straightaway, keeps him clear into 3.
Yeah, big run off of turn number 2 right there for Kyle Busch. We've been sitting that all day long. As soon as you go up to the high side in turn number two, you can get a run. Not the same case in turn number 3, though, and this time by across the line. Chastain gained 3/10 last couple of laps and across the line this time.
A huge gap. Gain.
Oh, that was 6/10 that time for Chastain. The one car is hauling the mail right now, Gary. Chastain perhaps learning some things the drivers in front of him will want to learn. And obviously, if you're Bell as well, you want to learn that Harvick should get around you and not be in this picture because, my goodness, Harvick is going to hurt Christopher Bell pretty heavily right there and maybe even hurt Kyle Busch if he is able to go at the leader as well and get himself unlapped.
William Byron having his best run in a while here today.
Harvick is all over his bumper, being super aggressive. I don't think Kyle Busch is going to be able to hold him off for very long, if not any longer right here. There he goes, Kevin Harvick to the inside of Kyle Busch. Out they go off of turn number 2, and this is not for position, of course. Harvick trying to get that lead lap back. And actually, Kyle Busch, again, used the outside to his advantage there. This time, Harvick puts him up to the outside where he's not going to have the advantage. Harvick should get past him. That'll slow him up for Bell and slow him up, more importantly, for Ross Chastain as well.
Yeah, Chastain's here just about another lap. I reckon he's going to be right a part of this battle, but as well, I mean, that's the problem right there. There's only one spot to pass. It's the inside, so Busch forced to the top. Less than, there are now exactly 10 laps to go. Busch stays clear. I mean, you see it time and time again, Jay. That 8 car can get a nice run, but it's not going to be enough. The 20 forces his nose, and here comes Chastain.
Almost contacted Chastain a moment ago, was 6/10 behind beginning this lap. He's going for the lead off of turn number 4, Gary. He's around Kyle Busch. He's all over the bumper of Christopher Bell for first place. And they make contact going into turn number 1 and 2. They make contact. They get away with it. Chastain obviously is much faster right now. He gets around Christopher Bell. Bell not even able to use the high side to his advantage. Chastain back to the lead. A massive, massive opportunity and massive run for Ross Chastain.
Being outside of the top 20 at the ending of the pit cycle. White flag is in the air for the number 1 of Chastain. Kyle Busch would love to hold on to that second position at least to get an extra point over Christopher Bell. Can he do it? Bell all over the back of that number 8 as they head down this back straightaway. But Jay, one driver set to punch his ticket into the round of 8 here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Ross Chastain came into this round with a bit of momentum and decided he was going to win this race. A really good run for Ross Chastain off of turn number 4. His 5th win of the season. Most wins out of everybody. Locks himself into the round of 8. Ross Chastain wins in Texas. Kyle Busch holds on to 2nd place over Christopher Bell.
And Logano hangs on to 4th over Byron. A solid day for Truex that will certainly help his point situation. Chase Elliott outside of the top 10 after what we thought was going to be a strong day for the regular season champion Keselowski. 12th. Larson ends up 15th. They're not going to be great, but it's going to be enough to keep himself comfortably above the cut line, however. But obviously the big names with issues, Kevin Harvick with the speeding commitment line penalty, whatever it might have been, had so much speed at the end of the race, unlapped himself, got to 30th, but him and Denny Hamlin find themselves